mean, over the past couple months, I honestly don't even know what to label myself as anymore. And if he does, he's fucking weird. So I'm still just so picky. A guy has never made me orgasm, so I honestly don't know. Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, what's up? My name is Lisa. Definitely make sure you subscribe. So I have another girl talk for you guys today. I usually do a get ready with me, but today I decided to just do a sit down because I haven't done a sit down video in a very long time. So I asked you guys to send me in topics this morning and I got a bunch. I do think I'm going to be repeating myself here and there just because there's so many like new people tuning in, and I don't think everyone has seen my last girl talks. I would recommend checking them out, and I also think it'll be interesting because I'll probably answer some questions differently now because I feel like as the time goes by, I'm changing, I'm learning new things, I'm growing. So yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. I have a bunch of things to talk about, so let's just get started. Oh wait, actually before I start, I'm positive that this video is gonna get demonetized unless YouTube wants to be nice for once. So do make sure you subscribe and like follow me on my Instagram and stuff, support me, because I'm probably not gonna make any money off of this video, which is okay, but you know. Okay, let's get into it. How to love yourself without makeup. So I think this is something that growing up I found really hard, and it's definitely something that's gonna take a while. It's also very normal to just kind of, I guess, be insecure without makeup. I feel like a lot of women go through that. And I would say the number one thing to focus on is maybe just like skincare. Because if you feel really comfortable in like just your skin without makeup, I feel like that's gonna help a lot. I remember I used to be very insecure, I guess, about my skin as well, which, you know, I would always feel like I have to put makeup on it. So I'd say like maybe focus more on skincare, pampering your skin, and also just kind of forcing yourself to go out and not wear makeup. Only really put on makeup if you are like going to do something, but if you're just chilling around the house, you have to run some errands, try to just like go out without makeup. I feel like the more you do it, the more comfortable you're gonna feel. The more you see yourself without makeup, you're gonna start loving it more. That's kind of what worked for me. But do just know it's a long process and it doesn't happen overnight. And yeah, you're gonna have to put some work into it, but I do think that eventually you are gonna get there. As a bisexual, what's your preference, femme or studs? I thought this was a funny question because, to be honest, I don't think I have a preference, because I used to kind of always say like, oh, I'm into femme girls, but I'm also really into studs. Like if I just find you attractive, like it doesn't really matter. And also I do label myself as bisexual, but I have to say that, I mean, over the past couple months, I honestly don't even know what to label myself as anymore. I think I'd rather just kind of not label myself, because I feel like I don't necessarily have a preference of like gender or anything, and I don't really look at gender or sexuality when I'm like into someone. I feel like I could honestly just kind of fall in love with anyone, so I don't know what box I would fit into there. For a while I called myself pansexual, then a lot of people were telling me that's not real, and then some people were like, yes, it is real. So at this point I don't know anymore, but yeah, I try to kind of just like, I just don't label myself at the moment, I think, but I'm into everything basically. How to stop obsessing over food, problems with eating. Do you want to put, I guess, a trigger warning here if you do have an eating disorder and you feel like things like this are triggering to you, or you just don't want to talk about or like hear about it. Here's your trigger warning. I feel like I'm getting so much better now. It took me years to kind of recover from my eating disorder and also find like a healthy relationship with food. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I think what really helps is looking at food as fuel for your body. It's okay if you can't really enjoy it yet, because I feel like I'm still at a point where I don't really enjoy it, but I do know that when I do eat well and somewhat healthy, I guess, it makes me feel a lot better throughout the day. I remember I had like days where, sorry, I'm scratching my foot. I had days where I just wasn't really eating much, or I wasn't eating much food with like actual nutrients in it, and like throughout the day I would feel very like tired, kind of nauseous, constantly just feeling like I wanted to lay down and go to sleep. And the moment I kind of started to like plan out my meals to a certain extent where it wasn't an obsession, and try to like make every meal kind of how do I explain that? I don't know, just make sure that it's like somewhat healthy or it has like nutrients in there, you know, get your greens, get your protein, get a bit of carbs in there. And consistently eating has helped me a lot as well. Just set like an alarm if that helps you. For me, that's very like useful. I literally put it into my calendar and my daily schedule of when I'm eating, just because if I don't, I'm literally gonna forget. I'm actually supposed to have lunch right now, but since I'm filming, I was like, I'll do it after filming. But you know, I think it's, again, a long journey, just like the first question. And if you feel like you can't do it yourself, I would totally recommend getting professional help. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I knew for me specifically that that wasn't like going to be a solution for me, you know, a couple years ago when I got therapy and they were like, well, we can like send you to this eating disorder clinic. I was kind of like, I don't see myself actually putting in the work when I'm there. I felt like I was more so just going to be lying a lot and like eventually just lying to myself and going there and like wasting my time. So definitely take your time with it. Try to not trigger yourself by looking up certain types of food or certain types of things. I remember I used to be very obsessed with calorie counting. I use like an app and everything, and I've stopped doing that. I stopped weighing myself. I think that's also a very big thing. Stop weighing yourself. Just throw away your scale if you have one. Just don't step on it, and don't focus really on calories. I feel like that for me was like my biggest thing that kind of made it very unhealthy. And now I just look at how healthy is this food I'm eating, and I make a meal out of it, and I try to just listen to my body. You know, if I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat. If I'm not hungry, I still try to eat, especially if it's time for me to eat. But it's also okay to like maybe eat a little bit and then eat a little bit later. Like, you really have to just figure out what works for you. You know, one diet isn't gonna work for everyone. And like I said, it's a long process, but I feel like once you get to that mindset where you're like, okay, I'm ready to make steps and get over this, that's when it's like gonna work out. I don't know if that was a good enough answer, but I also get this question a lot, and I think I've answered before. It's about like anxiety, how to deal with it, how to overcome it. I think for me, it's very much like up and down. Like, I'll go through periods where my anxiety really isn't that bad, and it depends on what's going on in my life, obviously. If I don't have anything crazy going on and I'm just living my day-to-day life, my anxiety will be a lot less bad. And obviously when things are happening, when there's stuff to like stress about or whatever, or to overthink, that's when my anxiety gets worse. And I think the important thing is to listen to your body and to how you're feeling. If you wake up and you just know like, okay, this is not gonna be my day, like I'm really anxious, that's totally okay. And you can absolutely like listen to that feeling. But I do think it's important to then try to do things to make you feel better. So like if I wake up really anxious, I try to just have a slow morning. I try to maybe get some, coffee. A lot of people say coffee's not good to drink when you're anxious. It personally doesn't make me more anxious, but obviously you can also just have, I don't know, tea without caffeine or something. Just like having like a slow morning and listening. What's been helping me is listening to like high frequency, like relaxing music. If you just look it up on YouTube, there's a bunch on there. You can also just look up other types of relaxing music. It doesn't have to be high frequency, but just doing something that will kind of calm you down and I guess take your mind off of it. I can't really give you an answer on how to overcome it because I personally have not done that. I don't know if that's even possible. Again, if you can get professional help and you feel like you can't do it yourself, I would totally recommend that. And I think besides that, I'm sure there's a bunch of different techniques and like methods that you can do to help with like preventing an anxiety attack or like just like making yourself feel less anxious. I'm sure there's a bunch of videos on that. I'm not a health professional. I'm not a professional on anxiety. I can't tell you right now like, oh, do this and you're never gonna have anxiety again. But yeah, just kind of do your research and figure out what works for you. Would you shoot your shot? I think to a certain extent, I'm always down to shoot my shot, but I keep it very low key and I don't really do too much. Like, I'll shoot my shot in a way of like, I'll like your photos and I'll like, maybe I'll like follow you. I usually don't like send a DM first or like will ask someone out on a date or anything. I just go with the flow, see if they take the bait. If not, then I move on, basically. Have you ever been ghosted? Yes. I think, well, yeah, I guess I have been kind of ghosted in a way, but also I don't know if that's, I don't know, somewhat ghosted, I guess. How did I deal with that? Well, it was a weird situation, so it definitely was hurtful to me. I just kind of, I don't even know how I dealt with it. I definitely was really upset for a long time, but it was also a good thing to happen because it really helped me on my journey of like self-love and being happy by myself. So focusing on yourself while still having a love life, especially looking at all the questions that I receive, I think a lot of people are so worried about having a love life and like dating around and constantly like talking to people. And I think that once you kind of let that part go, like you can focus on yourself. You don't really have to think about like how can I have a love life while still focusing on myself. Just focus on yourself. And if someone like if someone crosses your path and you meet someone, then you can put your effort into that. I don't think you should really, I don't know how to explain it. I just think that, you know, focusing on yourself while still having a love life is obviously possible, but I don't think you should try to take steps to be able to do both. I think you should just focus on yourself, and then if someone, like if you meet someone, you can obviously, I guess, kind of bring them into your life. But and I guess focusing on yourself while dating someone, I would say to make sure you have things that you like to do separately. I don't think you should do everything together. You know, I think some couples really get like caught up in like, oh my God, we love being together so much, let's do everything together. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of go wrong, because then like your whole life's gonna revolve around this person. And I think it's also really important to have like your own things and have your own friends. And if I could like describe my ideal situation for a relationship, I would definitely want to have my own friends. It's obviously nice if you can get along with their friends and stuff and you can do things together, but I would love to have my own friends, my own things to do. That way, if you do ever break up, it's not like your whole world is falling apart, because you still have those things, if that makes sense. Like if you do everything together, then everything's just going to revolve around this person, and I don't think that's healthy. IMO. But make sure you just have your own things to do, and then you can have a love life and do all of that. But just don't focus too much on it. Just focus on yourself. Pet peeves when talking to a guy. Guys that are like too into themselves and that think they're just like all that. I do really like confident guys. I think it's very important. If a guy isn't confident or he's like really shy, like that doesn't really work for me. Just because it takes me a little bit to like open up and warm up to someone. So I do really like confident guys, but I don't like when they're cocky. I really need to be able to like laugh with you. If you just have really bad humor, then like that just doesn't work. And I also just hate when like, okay, a pet peeve for sure is when a guy gives too many compliments when you just start talking, because it's just really cringy and I don't enjoy it. And then obviously once you maybe get into a relationship or whatever, you start dating, you know, then it's like nice to get compliments, but then it feels more special too. I feel like if a guy gives too many compliments in the beginning, it doesn't really feel special anymore. Let me know what you think of that. Could you see yourself having a serious relationship with a girl? Yes, I kind of already talked about this earlier. I feel like I'm actually more interested in girls at the moment, but I just haven't really met anyone. So I'm still just so picky, you know, with any type of person. I feel like I'm at a point where I think I could appreciate a relationship with a girl more, and like I don't know. Honestly, when I look at my future, I don't see a partner at all, which is something I still need to figure out and see what that is about. But I think at the moment I'm definitely more interested in girls. I just haven't really met anyone. So what to do with dark underarms and dark private area? I think this is something that is very normal. I wouldn't focus too much on like getting rid of it. You can definitely kind of help kind of lighten it by, I think waxing helps a lot. I think waxing versus shaving gives like a lighter look, I guess, because there's not like the stubble isn't there, because you like obviously take the root of the hairs out. But also having like dark underarms and like your private area being darker is normal. I don't know, I think it kind of comes from porn as well, where everything is so like perfect and like no discoloration and everything's so smooth and it looks so perfect, and that's just not real skin and not what a real person's body looks like. So it's fine if you have some discoloration, if you're a bit darker down there or on your armpits. I am too. It's normal. Don't worry about it. How to deal with skin discoloration. Do guys care about it? Again, like I said, don't worry about it too much. And also, I just want you guys to stop worrying about, is the guy gonna like this? Do guys hate this or like this? Like, it really doesn't matter. If you're comfortable with it, leave it. If it makes you uncomfortable or you want to change it, you can change it, but don't try to fix something or change something because you think guys won't like it, because it doesn't matter. If you're confident in who you are, a guy's not gonna look at you and be like, oh, you have discoloration on your skin. And if he does, he's fucking weird, and you don't even need that in your life. So please just focus on what do you like to see when you look in the mirror, obviously in a healthy way, but stop trying to like change things about yourself or do certain things just because you want a guy to like that, or because at the end of the day, a man's opinion does not matter, baby, I promise you. Okay, this was an interesting question because I didn't even know this was a thing. Which supplements do you take to clean your kitty from the inside? I don't take anything. I don't think you should unless your doctor tells you to. Honestly, our body, like all that, it cleans itself. Your vagina cleans itself. You don't have to take something to clean it. I promise you that. And if you do, then only on like with advice of your doctor. I wouldn't say just go get supplements that say like, oh, your cooter is gonna smell good because of this, or it's gonna be cleaner. Like, as long as you shower and you clean it with water, you're good. Like, you don't have to do all of that, I promise. Like, it cleanses itself. A healthy kitty, obviously. And if it doesn't, then obviously make sure to go to a doctor. Thoughts on major plastic surgery? Have you always wanted a boob job, or is that recent? Looking back, I've always kind of wanted bigger boobs. I do know that when I was on the pill, they grew a bit, so I wasn't as self-conscious about them. And I've always been fine with having small boobs. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, I fucking hate my boobs. But there's definitely a part of it that doesn't make me feel good. And that kind of makes me feel more insecure, I guess. And so, or self-conscious. Yeah, so it's something that I think I've wanted to get done for a little while now. Yeah, I don't have any issues with plastic surgery as long as it's done in a healthy way. And you know, you don't go overboard and it's realistic. And yeah, I think this also ties back to kind of, oh yeah, the next question that someone sent in, the rise of BBLs. Again, like, I have nothing against plastic surgery and I totally understand why people want to get it done. What does scare me about BBLs though is that it's actually a very, very, very dangerous surgery, and it's kind of getting marketed as this, like, I don't know, this like glorified thing when it's actually really dangerous. And I think a lot of women don't know that. Obviously there's also risks to like getting breast implants and stuff, but it's a very different type of risk in my opinion. And I think it scares me a little bit that BBLs are getting so popular, because I think there's a lot of women that don't actually realize how dangerous it can be. And also the aftermath sounds horrifying to me. I don't think I could ever get that done. Never say never, but I don't think I would. So yeah, I don't have anything against plastic surgery. I do think that, you know, BBLs being so glorified now freaks me out a little bit. But you know, everyone can do what they want with their bodies. So how to prepare for a wax appointment and what to do after. Well, I like to, if you're talking about Brazilian waxes, obviously that's, I don't really get anything else waxed. I like to shower before I go. That's pretty much all that I do. Just shower, wear something comfortable. Don't wear underwear that's too tight, because after you get done, it's nice to wear something a bit looser, or else it's gonna like kind of burn and stuff. It's not that comfortable. And afterwards, it really depends. Like, I would honestly just suggest asking the person that's waxing you, like ask your wax salon what aftercare they recommend, because I mean, I'm not a professional. I just kind of do what works for me. I like to, you know, make sure to scrub down there after a couple of days of getting waxed, and then I do it like every other day, just in the shower, just to help with ingrowns, because even though I wax, I still get ingrowns if I don't scrub and exfoliate. But I would honestly just ask your wax salon and see what they recommend. Maybe they have a product for you to use and you can try it out. Have you ever been in a relationship? No, I have not. I still have not, and I'm kind of okay with it. I think it's kind of, you know, for a while it's like, ugh, I'm like turning 22 this year, still haven't been in a relationship. I kind of like it. Like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, I kind of want to be with someone, but like I said earlier, I don't even see a partner in my future. Like, I plan my life in a way that is just me. So if someone does, you know, walk into my life, I'm totally open to it. But I'm kind of also down to like stay single for a very long time, because it's really, I know, I kind of like being by myself. So I feel like I'm slowly getting more at peace with being single and not really being with anyone. I do have to say though, I've been watching Love Island, and that did kind of make me think like, oh, it would be kind of cute to have someone, because I like see all these couples, but then I'm also looking at it and be like, I don't know if I can be that attached to someone like constantly. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I haven't experienced it, but I'm saving myself for marriage. Am I making the right decision? So I wanted to answer this because I feel like you already kind of answered your own question. Like, if you want to do that, then that's the right decision to make. I don't think anyone else can tell you, no, you shouldn't. I personally haven't, and I wouldn't recommend it, just because I think that I do think it's like important to know what sex is like with someone before you get married. I think it can make or break your relationship. It can add something to it, and if it's like really bad, obviously it can like break it, like I said. And you know, I think that experiencing that with someone before you get married, just like I wouldn't get married before moving in with someone, stuff like that. I know that for some people it's like part of their culture. I mean, do your thing. I just personally wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't recommend it. But if you feel like that's what you want to do, then please don't ever let anyone tell you not to. Like, it really doesn't matter as long as you are happy and you feel comfortable. This isn't really a girl talk question, but I did want to answer it because I'm really curious to see what you guys will say. Which celebrity do you think you look like most? At the moment, I don't think I look like anyone, but growing up, I used to get Zendaya a lot. Like, looking at childhood pictures of me, I can kind of see the resemblance. I think it's also just because like we're both mixed, you know, we kind of have like the same skin color. I kind of had my hair in a way that looked like hers when she was like, I got compared to like her younger self, if that makes sense. I think we don't look anything like now, but I don't know. Let me know down below if you think I look like anyone. I get a lot of like, oh, you look like this person, that person, and I never see it. I also feel like I just get compared to every like mixed, like black and white mixed woman celebrity ever. Like, just because we're both mixed doesn't mean we look alike, but you know. Anyways, let me know in the comments. I'm curious to hear about that. After a long day, what do you do to be so relaxed? I talk about this quite openly, I think, in my videos. I'm a little bit of a stoner. I love getting high at night, and even on my days off, I'll smoke during the day, which is something that I used to not do. But if I don't have to work, I allow myself to do it. If I have to like go out somewhere or like, you know, do something with someone, I won't. But if I'm just chilling at home, I love to just get high. And also at the end of the day, it's a great way for me to, you know, relax and turn my mind off, kind of. I don't want to sit here and promote it, but you know, for some people it works. For me it works, and I think as long as you do it responsibly, there's nothing wrong with it. And yeah, that's what I do. I like to just smoke, watch. I've been watching Love Island, like I said. I'll watch Love Island, I'll watch YouTube videos, I watch Twitch streams. Kind of depends on my mood, or I'll just be on TikTok all night. I'll like FaceTime people, whatever. Yeah, that's kind of my way of relaxing. And I'm still like on social media, I guess, but I don't really post. And yeah, anyways. Okay, this one's, I mean, it's not funny, but okay. How do I get an orgasm with my boyfriend? A guy has never made me orgasm, so I honestly don't know. I think the only advice I could give you would be to communicate. I found that really hard with the person I was dating last. Like, I didn't feel like I could communicate about it at all. So hopefully you feel comfortable in your relationship to do that. If not, maybe there's something that's not too good about the relationship. You know, I would definitely try to bring it up and just talk about what you enjoy, and maybe he'll be able to tell you like what he likes, and like you can kind of help each other with that. And I guess, I don't know, never experienced that. So can friends with benefits turn into a relationship? I'd say never say never, but if you go into it like that, I don't think you're ready to be friends with benefits, because that means you already kind of have feelings, because you would want a relationship eventually. If you're going into it like that, I would say don't do it, because you're gonna get your heart broken. You know, when you do go into like a friends with benefits relationship, I think you need to 100% have like no feelings, have that just turned off, or else it's just not gonna work out. Like, if one of the people in the relationship has feelings, it's not gonna work out. And yeah, it just doesn't work. So I wouldn't even think about if it can turn into a relationship, because then you're already like not ready to be friends with benefits. And if you're in a friends with benefits relationship right now and you have feelings, definitely tell the person. Maybe they feel the same and they can turn into a relationship. Maybe they're like, oh, I'm not feeling it, and then you should definitely get out of it, because you're gonna get your heart broken. How to deal with discharge? I've been suffering for almost 3 years now. Obviously there's a lot of like younger people that follow me and that will ask these questions, and I think that some of the people my age, you know, 20 plus years old, will kind of get that it's something you just have to deal with. maybe for younger too, who knows, but discharge is something that I think all women get. Some get it more than others, and there's gonna be days in your cycle where it'll be worse. For me personally, I know when I'm like ovulating, I think that's also kind of like a common thing. When you're ovulating, you have more discharge, or it's like, I don't know, whatever, but it's normal and you can't really do much about it. It's just your body doing its thing. If it really bothers you, you can wear panty liners if that makes you feel more clean, I guess. Besides that, it's just normal. And if you're really worried, then just go see your gyno and like have it checked out, because I mean, there could be something wrong, but usually there's not. But if you are worried, then I would say go get it checked out, and if not, you're just gonna have to get over it and deal with this, because it's so normal and it's gonna be fluctuating all the time. Like, you'll have moments where I'm like, damn, it's dry as fuck down there, and then sometimes you're like, hold up, like calm down, you know? It's normal. It's part of being a woman. Okay, the last question or topic I got is unusual periods. So with this, I guess they meant like 1 month getting your period, then not getting it. If you're not on birth control, I would say you could go to the doctor to get it checked out, because I do think that I wouldn't say it's not normal, but I think a lot of women have unusual periods. Is that what unusual means? Hold up, because now I feel like I'm understanding this question wrong. Okay, yeah. No, I think I got it right. Okay, so if you're not getting your period every month, I would think that maybe you're not ovulating every month, which if you're not on birth control, that could be an issue, depending on obviously if you want to have kids in the future. I would say go to get it checked out, because it's really nice to just know your body, know what's going on, and know what to expect. And if there is something wrong, then maybe you'll be able to get it checked out early, you know, instead of waiting years and years until you're ready to have a kid, and then you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, this is happening. So I do think you could go get it checked out, just so you know if something's wrong or not. But for me, whenever someone's like, oh, I don't get my period every month, that just kind of sounds like you're not ovulating every month. I'm not an expert, obviously. That's kind of what I think it could be. And there's obviously a bunch of reasons why that could be happening. So I would suggest, like, you know, go to your doctor, get it checked out. There's nothing wrong with that, and see, you know, maybe there's something going on, and this way you can find out, and maybe you're completely fine. You just have, you know, an irregular period. That is it for the girl talk. I thought this was going to take so much longer, because I wrote down a bunch of questions, but I went through it quite fast. Let me know if you want me to do this one again. I probably will, maybe like a month or two. I don't want to do it too often, because I feel like a lot of the questions are repetitive. And I also, like I said in the beginning, I think it's kind of fun to see how my answers might change as time goes by. You know, I think I'll answer something very different than I did 6 months ago. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you did, and of course subscribe. Check out my other videos, because I'm almost sure this is going to be demonetized and I would really appreciate the support. Also follow me on my Instagram. I post on there, not every single day anymore, but I do post frequently. I'll get into posting more again soon. I just haven't really been feeling like taking many photos, so you know, I'm doing it a bit slower now. But follow me on there if you want to see more of my day-to-day life. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.